From Network 7 Media Center, this is Mission Sonlight, reporting from the city of Juba in South Sudan. On July 9, 2011, it became the newest country in the world and the newest territory assigned to the East Central Africa Division.
We have three fields: the Greater Equatoria Field, where we are right now, the Greater Upper Nile Field, based in Malakal, and then the Greater Bahr Ghazal Field, based in Wau. In all, currently we have 26,145 church members. The greatest problem we have right now has been the civil strife that has been going on in South Sudan between the rebel and the government.
The crisis is monumental in the daily lives of the people, including our brothers and sisters in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Members seen here are part of a group of 9 who traveled on foot across the country to escape persecution from other Christians who did not want them bringing the Seventh-day Sabbath to their villages. To learn more about their story, visit the extra features on this DVD.
It is estimated that 2.8 million are internally displaced. People are dying of hunger. Literally, they do not have food to eat. Our church workers are affected. Our pay right now on an average is like $50 per pastor, an equivalent of $50. And when you look at what they are to eat, these $50 can actually buy a bag of rice, and that's it.
ADRA's presence on the same compound has helped to bring needed supplies to subsidize some of these felt needs for workers, members, and the community. Despite the daily struggle, the workers and members are not looking inward at their own needs, but they are intrepid with a desire to touch their fellow countrymen for Christ.
South Sudan is a very difficult terrain. It's not something very easy. But we thank God because He has given us the strength to still work, and the gospel is going forward. In the third quarter of this year, the 13th Sabbath offering has been allocated to come to South Sudan to construct children's church, and we call it the Lamb Shelter.
The church is growing in South Sudan. While conditions are not ideal, lay people are pressing through challenges to build God's kingdom in a place that doesn't easily accept the remnant truths of the Bible. Many of the laity are younger and smaller than we might imagine.
In total, we have around 500 to 600 children in Seventh-day Adventist Church here in Juba.
In our church, most of the children come alone. Some come with their own parents, but most of the children do not have their parents. When the children come to church, they repeat the stories when they go home, and they tell their parents, and their parents come to church.
We typically encourage children to attend church with their family. But what if they are orphans or their parents have not accepted truth? There are hundreds of small children and teens who attend church each week here in South Sudan alone. They need special lessons and training. They need children's churches.
The children will be interested to listen to the Bible stories, and then when they go out there, they will be sharing the story to their friends, and then eventually we may have more children coming to the Lord.
Leaders tell us how children are impacting the kingdom in their region.
I know people who have been baptized as a result of evangelism work of our children. They were able to reach people when no one else could, through their life story, through the way that they conducted themselves, because they were obedient and their interaction with the church, Pathfinders, the Ambassador Club. They became ministers to their own parents.
While the training is important, consistency is also important, and church under a tree can be interrupted when stormy weather sets in for weeks at a time.
When they go out of the church and they practice what they have heard, we get more children that come into the church. Then it's unfortunate what discourages them. When they come back and they're sitting under trees and the rains come, it disorganizes them and the learning stops.
Each week, a great number of children gather for worship on Sabbath. About 100 chairs have been donated for them to sit in so they don't have to sit on the ground.
Out of the 100 chairs that we have over 300 children. 300 children that join us for worship every Sabbath.
The numbers of children are growing and could be even greater if they had a place for regular meetings, training, and evangelism, unimpeded by harsh rain and sun.
We see it very important to have a children church where they will gather and worship, and not only that, they may invite their friends.
Pathfinders is an integral part of the training plan. Zipporah shares how it helped guide her to her young leadership role in the church.
We teach them the steps from adventurers, through Pathfinders, up through Ambassadors Club. It is important because if you train a child when he's young, it will stick. For example, I was being taught the way when I was young, and I've never departed from the teachings I was getting from my teachers and my parents.
As the newest formed country in the world, South Sudan has great physical needs. People living here adapt to the challenges and find distractions that help ease their hurt. As well, the members here are committed to meeting spiritual needs. They are grateful for the support of the 13th Sabbath World Mission Offering, which will bring funds from all 13 divisions to their kids and grow tomorrow's church today.
Thank you very much for the 13th Sabbath offering. We'll be using it to prepare the church here in South Sudan for the children.
We don't know in eternity how God will reward each one of us, but we do know this one thing. Your offering will go a long way in bringing children to Jesus. When we meet in the kingdom, how beautiful it will be to see you who are giving to us face to face, honoring God together. So I want to thank you. I want to say continue to support us. Adopt South Sudan as one of your territories where you will generously give for evangelism.
The kids here are asking for a place to worship, a place to bring their friends to learn about their one true hope. This 13th Sabbath, will you answer their cry to have a shelter for worship and fellowship? Uniting the Seventh-day Adventist Church through the 13th Sabbath offering. This is Mission Sonlight, reporting this week from the newest country in the world, South Sudan. We are the media missionaries of Network 7 Media Center.